Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of the Grey Brotherhood, an online campaign featuring the reunited members of the West Point Wargames Club. The Grey Brotherhood campaign is run using the Adventurer Conqueror King system, Imperial Imprint, or ACKS II, which we crowdfunding this summer. Our last episode began on the 1st of Pendalen, Imperial year 381. The Brotherhood had just returned from a disastrous expedition to a temple buried deep in the Viespin forest. Ciudadanos, the party's venturer, had learned that a rival party named the Fierce Brethren had gone missing in the same temple. He cleverly arranged to pay off their outstanding bills in order to befriend the local innkeeper, who then told him where to find the mysterious healer Ravela the Crone, as well as the best time to visit the bathhouse to meet up with the merchant guildmaster Arapos Karanos, to whom the party was heavily indebted. The crusader, Raymond, was able to recruit Ravela to join the party. Ciudadanos was able to secure an extension to the party's loan, with which they purchased a donkey with the aristocratic name of Destrius. The party departed Turos Tem on the 2nd and entered the Viespin forest, reaching the buried temple on the 3rd of Pendalen. Avarice, the party's thief, scouted around the dungeon and reported there was only one entrance, guarded by kobolds. The party massacred the hapless kobolds and entered the temple. Rather than head west towards the kobold lair that they had previously explored, the party decided to head east. They soon came upon the den of a band of brigands led by the deserter Drusus. The ensuing battle was incredibly hard fought. Gwynfor was down with a spear wound to the throat that has left his voice raspy and rough. Ciudadanos had his ear torn off. Losbalas the lumberjack was down with a puncture wound to the belly. And Tyrenius dispatched a horde of brigands with a single spell, but was then felled with a spear thrust through his neck that has left him mute and near death. Despite the brutal casualties, the Grey Brotherhood prevailed, defeating a total of 22 brigands, including Drusus himself. In the aftermath, they discovered a hoard of treasure, including a rune-covered sword called Mor Sur Son, Death to Sorcerers. They also found 3 barrels of fine wine, 20 bags of grain, and 20 bottles of cheap wine, which they cached in the forest for later pickup. Moving slowly and laden with loot and casualties, the Grey Brotherhood was, through sheer fortune, able to escape the buried temple. It is now the 4th of Pendalen. The party is in the Viespin forest, about 2 days' march from Turos Tem. Okay, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I would like to talk to the prisoners a little bit more. I thought of a few questions as we were leaving. At least I get my voice right.
I thought you had let them go. Okay.
I thought we let them go at the edge of the forest, was my impression.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll just... tell me, what was in the room south of where you were encamped? Do you know?
No. You sound like hell.
I'm sorry, you cut off a little bit there. I only caught the last.
I said you sound like hell.
Well, the sword to the throat will do that, but live on.
Or lots of pipe weed.
Yeah, we didn't go too many places. It's a dangerous place. We just went mostly within the area that Drusus controlled. You know, not into the orc territory, not into the hobgoblin territory.
So it's right south of the door to your temple. Small door. Did you not go in there?
They look at each other. No?
Never mind then. That's all I had.
Okay.
Hey, can I confirm that Higlak cut off Drusus's head and that we have that with us as proof that we killed him?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Well, then I say we head for town. Back to Turos Tem.
All right. So do you guys want to head south or southeast? Southeast, I think, is your usual route because it gets you to the road quicker.
Yes. Anybody got any other? Let's go that way.
Well, the good thing is we don't have to worry about brigands.
True. Okay, so you guys begin to push your way to the southeast. It's slow going because you have so many wounded men, and as such, and you're moving through a forest, so you don't think you're going to be able to make it very far today. It is beginning to get late in the day. The sun is westering, and I need everyone to make surprise checks. Remember that if you are missing an ear, you have a -1 on surprise checks, so do a d6 -1. So that would be Higlac and Castanus.
I'm at +1 because I'm an elf, right?
You're an elf in the forest.
In the woods.
Correct. Yeah. All right. Gwynfor is good. Tyrannius Orin is good. I don't know who the party is, so.
That was Castanus.
Castanus.
Watch.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I forgot what's the syntax for the roll again?
/roll.
/R? /roll. Okay, thank you.
/R /roll. I use /roll.
Oh, is that good?
No, that was me. Okay, that was you. Okay. So, all right. So Raymond, Castanus, and the grizzly bear that is about 20 yards away from you are all surprised. And it hasn't even yet reared up. It's kind of got its head tilted at you, and its ears are back, and it's got like one paw up in one paw on a tree where it was picking some leaves, and now it's kind of twisted its head to look at you. What do you guys do? It's surprised. If you're not surprised, you can act. Or you could evade.
Yeah, the party itself can evade? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. However, you'd have to leave behind the people that are surprised, actually, which is kind of a
So out of game here, I can't cast, right? Because I can't speak.
That's correct.
And I can't fight because I'm still forget the stage of life, right? Still at 1 hit point. And
You're still incapacitated, yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Did you guys roll for your henchman? Did you guys roll surprise for your henchman?
I don't. Do I have a henchman?
Ravelo the Crone.
I don't know if I.
You have the crone, right?
You recruited her.
Okay, got it. So it was during one of my non-session sessions.
Sure.
That green was for Genevale. She rolled a 1.
Okay.
Oh, the crone made it with a 4.
Luis Ballas is not surprised.
Okay, I'm rolling for Avro first. And then Zophiros.
Yeah. Okay. So unfortunately, if you wish to evade, you'd have to leave the surprise party members behind to fight the bear by themselves. So that's probably a bad idea. I will leave it up to you to decide what you'd like to do instead. So you can act in any order you wish, because the bear is just sign of standing there dumbfounded. Does Avarice want to do anything?
Silently gesture.
Okay. To do what, Gwynfor? Gesture to do what?
I was just to alert, just to stop the party.
Okay. So
and alert everyone that there is trouble ahead.
Okay. Castanus is surprised.
But without sound.
What does Avro want to do?
Avro rolled a 1.
Okay, so Avro is surprised.
Is that good or bad?
No, it's bad. What does Heraeus Megarovikos want to do? Nobody rolled for Heraeus. All right, he's surprised. Higlac? All right, nobody rolled for Higlac. He's surprised.
Who's running Higlac?
Grant should have designated someone, and he didn't, so I'll roll randomly. And looks like Tyrannius is running Higlak.
Okay.
All right.
I'll roll
Genevale.
for him then.
He
Okay.
was she rolled a 1, so she's
Genevale
surprised.
surprised. Higlak, what are you doing?
Nobody surprises the barbarian. So Higlak's going to charge the bear. Well,
Okay.
Would a grizzly bear?
A grizzly bear.
Yeah, that guy's got a bunch of hit points.
Maybe he will. What do you think, guys? Run in, get up in there.
Well, we could also have him delay and hope that the bear
Throw.
charges us.
Well, I mean, we could try. I mean, none of us have animal. What's the
Beast friendship.
beast friendship?
Yeah.
No.
So nobody's got beast friendship, but we could try. That might be a reaction roll if someone is can throw out some dried meat or something. Who knows?
Yeah, you could certainly throw some meat out for it and just, try and parlay.
Yeah, all right. Higlak's going to throw a chunk of raw meat that he's got. I'm sure he's got a chunk of something tied to his waist.
Higlak's going to do it? Okay. All right. Roll 2d6 with the reaction roll, Higlak.
Come on. It's not rolling. My macro is not behaving. Okay, so I rolled a 5.
5 is not great. So, anybody else want to act before I tell you guys the result?
I mean, I'm surprised, so I can't.
Yep.
And the crone is surprised, so she can't.
Tyrenius is going to hold.
No. The crone actually isn't surprised.
Correct.
Hold on, let me take a look at her character sheet. Yeah, she's not surprised. So let me see if Ravla the crone. All right, let's see what her abilities are here. Ooh, village wisdom.
I'm probably letting the fact that I just got savaged in the last session cloud my thinking in terms of what I would do in this case.
Okay, well, it sounds like nobody's really got anything to do. Ravla doesn't have any fighting abilities, Newton. She's a priestess. Level.
No, I know she doesn't, but yeah, but I'm wondering what so this is something new. The cantrips, the divine cantrips.
She doesn't have those, Newton.
Divine
She doesn't have those.
Oh.
We're not using those. That was from that's just legacy.
Okay.
So let me delete that. She has laying on hands instead.
Oh, she does have. Okay, that was in there. Okay, and then as far as spells, this is the same day as before, so she used all her spells.
No, it's the next day. The next day.
It's the next day. Okay. But the thing is, she can't cast the spell because we didn't declare it. So.
Correct. Well, she can actually, because I didn't have you guys roll initiative for the surprise round. So you're welcome to cast a spell if you want.
There's cause fear. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. So, all right. She's all right. She walks up. she doesn't walk up to the bear, but she's like, "Shoo, bear, shoo," and then cast cause fear. See if that works. Because I don't think a bear has 6 hit dice. I think a bear is 5 hit dice. So we might just.
She doesn't. Newton, I must not have updated the character correctly. She doesn't have cause fear. She's a priestess. She has allure, angelic choir, counterspell, cure light injury, delay disease, discern evil, discern magic, holy circle, illumination, purify food and water, remove fear, salving rest, sanctuary, shatter blade, and word of command.
Word of command. How does word of command work?
Only works on people.
Yeah, her spell list is not correct whatsoever. Then there are a few that maybe.
I'll fix it. She just referenced the rules. She's a first level priestess.
Got it. Okay.
Why don't we just form square and wait for it to charge us?
Yeah. Yeah, Riley can't do anything at the moment then.
Okay. Anybody else?
That Tyrannus is going to run.
I'm just going to make sure I'm
Yeah.
behind Higlax to some degree. Because
Yep.
he's the one who's awake.
All right. Well, if you guys want to fight,
Uh-oh.
let's fight. Okay. Right.
Well, I don't particularly want to fight, but none of my characters can do anything at the moment, at least not in round one. So,
Yep. I don't know what some of this stuff is and why it's on there, but whatever. All right. So let's drop you guys on the map. Take it off pause. You can move yourself where you'd like to be, whatever your riding order was. Taking it off pause, go ahead and move yourself to where you want to be. Bear is here.
which way's the bear?
He's to your southeast. Okay, so for unknown reason, all of my tokens are not loading for anything.
Oof.
All right, I'm going to hit reload. Okay. And you guys are all in the position you want to be in? All right. So we go into the first round of combat. You guys have quickly formed up as best you could, given you're wounded and injured. And Reveal of the Crone is up first.
I guess who's control? I'm controlling her, I guess. So
She's your henchman. You control her.
Yep. She will hold for the time being.
Castanus, you're up.
This is something for the young man.
I positioned myself to the side there so I can take a shot with the crossbow.
Okay, so are you going to shoot with the crossbow, or are you going to ready to shoot with the crossbow?
I'm going to shoot.
Okay, take your shot. So it hasn't attacked yet, so.
I mean, you could ready to attack if it attacks.
Okay, yeah,
Your shot will go.
ready. Yes,
All
already.
Genevale?
Annabelle will say that's a lot bigger than the rats they have back at the inn, and she'll also ready her bow to shoot when it charges, or if it charges.
Okay. Avarice? Avarice. Grant normally plays Avarice, so Willie, you're playing Grant. So.
All right. Avarice is going to do the same. He's got his short bow. He's going to ready it and stand by.
Higlac?
Higlac threw the food last time. He's at this point. He's going to prepare to. He's going to brace for a charge in case it comes charging in with his shield in one hand and the axe at the ready.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Lose
I think
balls?
Alex ran out of memory.
Alex is froze.
Can you guys not hear me?
Yeah, I think he
I can hear you.
you have a
I'm
stern
hearing
look.
you, but
I don't know why I froze.
We're not hearing you.
But that's okay. You've got a very authoritative facial expression.
Yeah, it's a good freeze. We can use that. Luzbalis is going to light a torch.
Okay.
Oh. Very good.
All right. Raymond?
Now you're moving.
All right. Let me see. I think
So
along with Castanus, Raymond might be the highest charisma person we have, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Raymond will step forward
Mm-hmm.
and with empty hands.
Okay.
He's going to basically give the bear a salute
Okay.
and then kind of wave the bear off. And we're going to point in the direction we're going to travel and see how the bear reacts.
Okay, makes sense. So you guys outnumber it 3-1, so that's a +5 bonus, but it is significantly more powerful than you, -2 bonus. That's +3. You are intruding on where it lives. That drops it to +2. So go ahead and roll 2 dice, and it is unfriendly to you, which is -1. So go ahead and roll 2d6 +1 plus your charisma bonus, Newton.
+1 plus charisma bonus, so that's 2d6 plus 3.
Yep.
And basically, mean to pass peacefully in the name of Aminar. Ah!
All right. That didn't go very well. Okay.
Yeah.
So you do that, and the bear opens up its mouth to snarl. Tyrannius? I guess you sit there silently and incapacitated.
What about Destrius the ass?
Yeah,
Am I
Tyrannius,
incapacitated?
you're too injured to be able to do that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Avro? Avro is Tyrannius.
Avro similarly is preparing his short bow.
Got it.
He's readying.
Okay. Well, all right. So then the grizzly bear is up, and it goes before Haraeus and Gwynfor on the 1 because it has fewer creatures on the board on its side. So smaller side breaks the tie. Okay, so the bear is currently unfriendly to you. You failed to intimidate it. So it is going to saunter forward to... Let's see. There's a horse, bunch of people. Yeah, I think it's going to saunter forward. All right. It's not charging, but it's sort of sauntering forward, and it's going to start swiping at you. So you got some readies. Go ahead and take them.
When you
Starting
say swiping, as in like a forceful swing, or like trying to paw at us kind of thing.
It's Tinder matching with you. No, it's attacking you. Yes.
Swiping, no swiping.
Yeah, I mean, swipe just seems kind of like, ambiguous a term.
As compared to the bear charging.
As
compared to the charging, the bear like this. He's smacking you around. Okay. So
Okay,
Castinus, you were ready. Go ahead and shoot.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is like the Revenant scene going on.
Something. Not the Revenant scene yet. If one of you gets almost killed and the bear drags you around, then it'll be. Okay. So bounces off its bushy hide. Genevale, you were readied?
Ooh,
Oh, Jenna hits. Okay. Jenna does 4 points. Okay.
not those rats.
So yeah,
Big rat.
It seems that she only likes killing animals.
Okay. Avarice was ready. Go ahead. So Avarice, that's you, Willie, because you're playing Grant.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking someone else was running Avarice. Sorry. I'm bringing up his sheet now. So short bow. Oh, not that good.
Very unfortunate. Higlak.
Higlak. Hand axe time.
Okay.
Half hand axe.
That's
Ah.
right. Any situational modifiers or just straight up
No.
roll?
Just straight up roll.
Oh, okay. Swipe.
All right. So Higlak hits
Well,
for 5 points. Okay. That's a good fierce blow, Higlak. Okay. So your axe bites into its shaggy hide and some blood comes out. It is by no means badly wounded. Okay. Luzbalus is incapacitated. Raymond, you're up.
Oh, I thought I already went.
You did. You're right. Okay. So Avro was ready.
Yeah.
Okay, Avro fires his short bow. Loosing an arrow. Oh,
All right. Big bummer. Okay.
not hitting.
Well, the bear is up, and it is going to attack Higlak because Higlak did the most damage to it. So first a bear claw. Oh, completely misses.
Nice.
Second bear claw.
Oh,
That's a solid hit for 3 points on Higlak. And then the bite. Hits AC 1, which is not enough to hit Higlak. So Higlak takes 3 points only. Okay. So the bear makes a half-hearted attack at you. It's a little bit taken aback by how much damage you deal to it. It strikes once, kind of slams into you, spins you. You duck under the other one and avoid the bite. Okay. We'll go to Haraeus. Haraeus, that's, I guess, also you, Willie, because you're currently playing Higlak. So we'll spread some of these out later.
Okay, hold up. Okay, I was having trouble getting character sheets up for some bizarre reason. So Haraeus savagely swings his short sword. Sorry.
Haraeus will have to move up.
Savage!
Okay, so Haraeus moves
Fumbles
up
it.
and fails. Okay, Gwynfor, you're up.
Where is Haraeus?
I just moved.
Well, I'm incapacitated, so all I can do is exhort
Yeah.
with my poor charisma. So I'll say, "Hold fast, brothers, as Blade Mistress Honoria Messalina said, courage is what we must find when all other options fail us."
Oh, God.
That's a good quote. Okay. Well, sadly, the grizzly bear won the initiative with a 6, so it is going to attack. And I guess it will spin to attack Haraeus, who's the most recent and has shown up on its flank. So it attacks Haraeus with a miss and hit for 1 and for 3. All right, so Haraeus takes 4 points of damage. It smashes through his heavy armor, knocks aside his shield, doesn't manage to hug him, but definitely has brewed him up. Avarice, you're up. That's you, Willie.
All right, where? I know I'm looking for him on the map.
He's right in
There
front
he
of the
is,
bear.
okay.
He's right here.
Yep. So he's gonna swing his short sword at him. For some reason, I can't say that today.
You have to move over there. Okay. AC4. AC4 is enough. So you do a mild wound to the flank of the bear, which gives off a roar. Okay. Gwynfor, you're still incapacitated. Luzbala, still incapacitated. Ravilla.
You get them, boys!
Good. Okay. Raymond.
All right. Raymond is like, okay, I'm going to show this guy. So I am going to attack, but I'm going to attack non-lethally since with my mace, because I can do that with a blunt.
You're going to take a
weapon.
-4 penalty to attack non-lethally, Newton?
Yes, because I feel that is what I'm called to do in this moment.
Okay. Very noble of you.
It's not nobility. It's listening to roll right there. All right.
Okay. All right. Raymond, your mace
-4?
bounced off its
Yeah.
shaggy hide without any impact. Higlak.
Yeah.
Higlak swings his hand axe. Oh,
There's
mighty
a hit.
strike.
Not very much damage. Okay.
Ew.
Well, that's actually
Well,
6 points.
No, it
6
is.
points.
Yep. The bear is beginning
Yeah,
to
it's
look
more than you did last time.
battered and bloody. Haraeus. Badly wounded Haraeus. What do you do?
Hurry us similarly. Where is he standing? So he's going to attack as well. Yep. Continues to not swing very well.
All right, Haraeus misses. Tyrenius is incapacitated. Genevale.
She's not going to get any closer. These forest rats are way bigger than I'm used to. She's going to stay back and have her bow ready in case it's
All right,
useful.
Avro.
How many?
Avro. That's you, Tyrenius.
I know. I've got 7 character sheets up on the screen. Sorry. So
Had
he's
a cat on
coming,
the back.
and a cat climbing on me and clawing me.
That's no cat. That's a grizzly bear.
Arrow wonders if he should have used his spear.
Oh, he can't use his bow in it's
Still?
in melee with him, so he's got to drop.
Well, that was his short sword.
There's a short sword. Okay, got it. So he's dropped the bow and hits it with its short sword. Okay, that was almost a lethal blow at the last minute. The bear twists, and instead you stab a fierce wound into its hip. And Castanus.
Then I'm going to rush up with short sword.
Oh,
Nice.
That's a good one.
All right, so Castanus comes in, and the bear tries to spin, but it's too late, and he stabs into its soft, fleshy part near its neck, and the bear dies. Okay.
Tyrenius croaks loudly.
Right. Avro says, another victory for us. Ha ha. Haraeus says, praise the gods, we are victorious again. Healer!
Yes.
Okay,
Arius.
Newton, are you running
Tyrenius.
yeah.
or Ravela?
I guess
Or
I am.
women?
Yeah, I
Women.
guess I'll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I am. So, I guess the only person wounded from that encounter is Haraeus, as far as I know.
No, Higlak
Higlak
also
too, right?
got wounded.
Yeah, Higlak.
Yeah, but Higlak isn't as pious and as good looking as Haraeus.
It's true.
And she's like, "Oh, Haraeus, let me take a look at you." And I imagine her turning to the other and say, he, along with Raymond, are very pious, and see how comely they are. Should be a lesson to all of you.
All right. So are you going to...
Tyrenius holds up a bundle of comfrey. The last bundle that I have.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so
roll
she'll use the
comfrey
comfrey first.
That's 1d3 hit points healing.
All right, let's go, Ravela. Roll that. Roll 1d3.
Should we declare who that's on first, or
Yeah, no, he said it was on Haraeus.
Yeah.
All right, so Haraeus heals
Okay.
2.
Haraeus.
I didn't hear
Okay.
that? Sorry.
Yeah. And then she's gonna turn to Higlak.
Okay.
All right, and she has her full suite and lay on hands, but we don't have any more comfrey. So
Right.
you're one of the brothers, so
She can also use her healing. She can also use her healing proficiency, Newton.
Oh,
she-
really? Okay. Let's
she's
try that.
14
Let's
husk.
try that first then.
On Higlak. Okay. Go ahead. 14
I
plus.
have a lot of muscles, so let's take a look, yeah. I'm trying. Okay, there. 1d20.
No. All right.
Oh, okay. So I'm just gonna have to lay some hands on you some more. All right.
All right.
So
So
she
you're going to
does
lay.
lay on hands.
You're going to lay hands on Higlak. Okay. Higlak is
On
up to 7 hit
Higlak, yeah.
points. Okay. Haraeus is at 6. Higlak's at
And-
7.
All right. So that should be enough, right? Because Higlak is normally Oh, Higlac is normally what, 8?
They're both normally 8. One's at 7, one's at 6. Good enough?
Awesome.
Yep.
I mean, I've got 2. She's got her 2 healing slots if it's a new day, spell slots, but you should probably save that for an emergency.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense to me. So then we will return to our travel map. And okay.
We should skin the bear we have taken from the forest. We must make use of what we've taken.
Absolutely. You can skin the bear if you'd like to do that.
I don't think
I don't know that I have any skills for it, but does anybody have? Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. I mean, I would love to, but
I'll do something elven that's respectful of the bear. I'm not sure what that would be. But,
All right. So you utter a few words over the bear's spirit, wishing it a happy afterlife and return to the cycle of nature. Okay, so
I apologize that we can't put it to good use.
How incapacitated is Tyrenius? Can I use my my naturalism to study that the bear and determine if there are any parts to make use of? Or
Yes.
am I incapacitated where I can't do that?
you can do that. You can do mental things, just not physical things.
Okay. So is this the case where I'd want to use that ability? We have this bear that attacked us. Was it unnatural? Was it atypical behavior? And would I be able to try to make a proficiency throw to appraise the value of its parts?
Yes, you absolutely can do that.
Is this intended for use with bears, or is this more for unnatural creatures?
Naturalism?
Yeah.
Isn't that the proficiency you have?
yeah, I think you can use it on anybody.
Yeah, you can just use your
Yeah, I'm
naturalism
looking at the
to
ability.
identify. Adventurers can identify the value of a monster's parts with a naturalism proficiency throw of 11 plus.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm asking if this is the case. Would I want to use this? Will I get value out of using this skill or this ability that I've got?
I'm not going to tell you the answer to that. You can use the skill or not.
Okay.
Willie, we don't have anything to store any special components that we might be able to get from it. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, you could still try to identify if there was something, remarkable about the bear, but as far as harvesting it at this point, I think Zephyrus would be the only one that might be able to do something.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was asking, because I'm not familiar with how you're supposed to use this skill. Is this an intended use where this would be a good point where someone should do that or not?
I mean, it depends.
Is this just a random encounter?
What you define as good. You can use naturalism to identify whether or not the monster has monster parts. But it just takes time. So is that worth your time? I can't really say without telling you how much the monster parts are worth, which I can't do till you make the skill check. So it's up to you. You can spend time examining it or not.
No, I get it. It says I can spend 1 turn, which is 10 minutes, which to me seems like not a big time. We just had a battle. Yeah. While the people are being healed, this might be a good time to do it. So as an ACKS mechanic, is this a place where you would use this? Is that what this ability is for, or am I misunderstanding it?
No,
really
it is what that's
because
I will read you
because I don't know when you would use it. I don't know if this is a case where you'd say, yeah, this is probably when you use it, or this is really intended for something different. That's kind of what I'm wondering, is because I don't know.
Adventurers can identify.
I don't want to miss an opportunity, but I don't want to also make it something that's not really a point of doing right now. Is all.
Because I think
we got 10 minutes.
I don't know how else to say this.
Yeah, while we're healing.
The naturalism ability allows you to identify the value of a monster's parts.
Sure.
Go for it.
Okay. So while people are being healed, because I'm not being healed, I will be doing this. So I'll make a proficiency throw.
Yes.
And I think in this case, I just roll a d20. So it's just straight up, basically 50-50 shot.
At first rank, it is. Yeah. If you have more ranks of it, then it gets easier.
Oh, well, I did not pass.
Okay. So you are not able to identify using naturalism after about 10 minutes. You're like,
sure.
Didn't study bears.
Sounds good.
You could try using collegiate wizardry, specifically to see if the bear has any magic powers, magical components.
I can do that while I have that too. I can do that while Willie's doing the other. So we're spending the same.
Or you can
turn
also use alchemy as well to see if it has any special components for alchemy.
And that's where Zappiros could really help.
I'll do the collegiate wizardry while Willie's doing the other one.
All right, Jonathan, go ahead. Okay, you're
Looks like I missed
the 9. You are not able to identify the special components.
So I have 2 ranks of alchemy.
Okay, and collegiate wizardry.
Yeah, I have both.
Okay.
I have 2 ranks of alchemy and 1 of collegiate wizardry.
All right, so you need a 2 or higher.
2 or higher.
Yeah. Okay, so that did it.
Okay.
All right, so you weren't able to identify like how much the bear's claws and fangs are worth to, a taxidermist, or how much the bear's hide and meat would be worth, or how much meat you could extract from it, because your naturalism roll failed. So the sort of like natural historian type stuff you weren't able to sort out. But you succeeded as an alchemist and wizard. And so what you do know is that because this is an ordinary bear, actually, let me check that. That might have changed. 1 second.
So I'm not really trying to belabor the point. I'm thinking this is an opportunity to showcase it for people who don't know how this mechanic works in ACKS.
Yeah.
Because I certainly don't understand it because I'm new to it. And so if it seems like I'm overemphasizing, I'm just thinking that if this is a case where people who are more savvy should be using this, I'd like to know that and know when and why. That's all. Because this is, again, it's interesting, and it gives some people really would like to max out some of these.
Yeah, I get it. I just
abilities.
I don't want to play the game for you and tell you what's savvy to do, because you're first level adventurer, so you don't necessarily know what's savvy. So I'm happy to explain how the mechanics work, but I'm not going to say, yes, this is savvy. Okay. So, okay. So you have succeeded in identifying the special components of the grizzly bear. And what you know is that the grizzly bear has its claws are worth 100 gold pieces as a special component for spells such as Iron Maiden and Swift Sword. And its stomach is worth 100 gold pieces towards magic items that would use Call of the Wild Bear or Slumber. So all told, it's worth 200 gold pieces if you extract those components. And someone with at least 2 ranks of healing can do so, or labor, butchery, or trapping.
I suppose that the crone could do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I write down what to cut out and pass it on.
Okay. I posted it in chat for you.
Thank you.
Okay. So
So
what
do we
happened?
assume the crone's going to do that?
Yeah, she can do it on
Yeah.
its own. Doesn't take
Okay.
long. Yeah. So what happened there was your naturalism roll failed. Had you succeeded on the naturalism roll, you would have learned how much the hide weighed, how long it would have taken you to get the hide, how much it was worth, what its claws were worth as miscellaneous components, what its fangs were worth, etc. But you failed that check, so I didn't give you that information. You succeeded on the check for special components, so you were able to extract those. Right. So in other words,
you would get different information based on what abilities you're using, and you may not get the same information. It's not generic.
Correct. And some monsters have really valuable components for magic and aren't really valuable for mundane purposes. But then like an elephant's tusks, like the ivory, can be really valuable for mundane purposes, for decorative purposes, even if it isn't imbued with magic for special components, right? So it just depends on the monster. You know, or like, for instance, an example would be a mink. Its fur is worth a whole lot, but since it's just a tiny little fuzzy mammal, it doesn't really have much magical power. So its special components are worth almost nothing. So for a mink, you'd be really better off with naturalism. And but with the grizzly bear, as it turns out, the value is very high because it's a powerful totemic kind of shamanic creature. And so it actually has a lot of value for special components. Make sense?
So we lucked out.
No,
Yes.
you did what you were supposed to do. Okay. Because of the exhausted state of your troops, you guys are not able to go any further today. So you will have to complete your journey tomorrow and set up camp here on the edge of the woods. Are you going to let the two thieves, the brigands, go at this point?
I think we needed them to carry the glassware to the outskirts of Turos Tem. Was that what everybody, and then we would release them? Is that everybody else's understanding?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
You're not going to trick and
those
turn
edge of the forest.
to the authorities, are you?
No.
No.
No. As long as you maintain your oath, we will maintain ours.
Totally. I'm all about oaths. Okay. All right. So the evening passes uneventfully and you are not attacked. And so on the 5th of Pendalen, you wake up to a warm day with a slight mist that quickly clears as the late spring sunlight begins to burn it away. And you're able to make it to Turos Tem. All right. So when you get to Turos Tem, you guys get experience points because you're returning to civilization with treasure. So when you get to the stronghold or the urban settlement, I've already applied those experience points to you guys. I need to apply a little bit more now because you also just got some experience points for killing the bear. Okay. So let me do that. And in the meantime,
Is it something where you could talk us through some of that, or?
yeah, sure. I'll talk you through that. Okay.
Like,
Yeah, sure. Sure, since we're doing this for people who don't necessarily know. So you guys brought back a total treasure value of 2,093 gold pieces, including the reward you're going to get from Drusus, which I've sort of, for ease, I've already included that. So 2,093. The 22 kobolds you killed were worth 100 XP. The 27 brigands you killed were worth 270 XP. And Drusus was worth 80 XP. So overall XP earned by the party as a whole was 2,543. Each of the 5-player characters gets 1 share. Each of the NPCs gets half a share. So it totals up to a total of 8.5 shares, which then gets distributed out. So, so you guys need to distribute a total of 861 gold pieces to your henchmen, which leaves you with... after you collect the reward, you will have 214 gold pieces left, plus your shells, prisms, and glassware. And then you also got an additional 200 XP for killing the bear, and that's what I have to distribute to you now. So and it's automated in the system. What happens is I pull up the party overview and I do deal XP, and it's pre-calculated based on your stats and everything. And so boom, you now all just got
awesome. Awesome.
Cool. Okay.
very cool.
All right. So
we're the Grey Brotherhood and Associates.
the first order of business should be to collect your reward.
Yes. Let's take.
That's great brothers and cousins, Newton, right?
I think we need to head to the headquarters to talk to the legate about Drusus, and also to get people into the hospital.
Okay. All right. So you're admitted to the gates by the half-elven subaltern, who says, "I didn't think we'd see you again." And then she kind of looks at how bad some of your wounded are, and she's like, "Oh, looks like you had a hard fight. Come on in." And it's late afternoon at this point. The sun is beginning to set. by the time you guys get settled into the hospital. And the legate actually comes to meet with you guys at the hospital. The subaltern has reported that you're there. So Priestess Jenilyn is sort of putting around, and she's like wrapping bandages around your throat and like, oh, I don't think this one will have much to say in the future. And then the legate arrives and he says, well met. I'm told you have some sort of message for me, an accomplishment or something.
Yes, Legate. We present to you the head of Drusus the Brigand.
He looks at the head and he says, that's the man. Spits. And he says, the Merchants Guild had told me they'd agreed to pay extra for this. So see the quartermaster. He'll see to it that you're paid.
Okay.
S4.
Okay.
And I'll tell him, Legate, we have badly wounded, so we will rest and then we will continue our task.
He nods and he says, some of the wounds your men have are far beyond Priestess Gendelyn's ability to care for it. You may wish to consider seeking out magical healing in Ciudadanos if you can afford it.
We will.
All right, so you guys at this point are at the hospital, which is down here at 4. The legate is over here, or sorry, the quartermaster is over here in 1. Over there.
So I'm gonna talk to the other members of the party, and I'm gonna say I think what we need to do is collect the reward and then repay the loan that we have from the merchant.
Yep. To whom you owe 450 at this point.
Yep.
Yes, we don't want that interest to compound.
No.
Agreed.
And maintaining the
Agreed.
good and maintaining the name of the Grey Brothers unblemished, we pay our debts.
Now, here's another thing that I present to the group is, because of the small size of the market at Toros Tem, we might have difficulty. So, for instance, we might be able to sell 1 or 2 of the prisms, but we might not be able to sell all of them right away. The same with the shells. So one thing that I think that we might be able to do is, now that we have proven ourselves very creditworthy with the Merchant Guild, use some of that to collateralize a much, much more favorable loan to us in coin that we could then take to Ciudadanos and make sure that we can get Tyranius and maybe even Higlak healed. So thoughts on that?
Sounds great.
Everybody
My
in?
voice can wait. I'm charming right now. I know.
You're number 3.
Yeah. My expertise is in the works of Aminar. I defer to your judgment when it comes to matters of coin.
Okay. So
But certainly I would not trust Avarice with any advice on coin until he repents, though a brother he is.
Avarice gives you a dirty look.
I look over at Avarice.
I just know that Legate Gerlanicus Parvo said, and I believe the statement, "He who has the most stuff wins," may not be true for philosophers of life, faith, and happiness, but it is for the general and his logistics. And I trust you with that, Castinus. Castinus, sorry.
So
Avro says, excuse me, I don't speak Elven. Could anybody translate what he just said? The wizard says nothing. He's just silent. Okay, so heading over to see the quartermaster?
Yep, quartermaster, then to the Merchants Guild.
All right. So you go see the quartermaster. The quartermaster is over here in building. Oh, the buildings are misnumbered. That's annoying. Okay. So the quartermaster is in the headquarters building, which is like 125 foot long, 85 feet wide. The front half is an open colonnaded courtyard, and then behind there's a cross hall with an elevated shrine flanked by offices on either side. And the elevated shrine contains, the standards of the fort. 2 elite guards stand outside its bronze gate, kind of eyeing you suspiciously. And you see beyond them an 8-foot-tall bronze statue of Aminar, god of law and light. And the statue is surrounded by red shields adorned with the winged sun and 6 company pennants hanging above it. To the left-hand side, you see the quartermaster's office, a room furnished with a low cedar table and a folding stool, a pottery lamp. And there's a figure working there. It must be the quartermaster's assistant or something. He's got like this round, slightly misshapen head, kind of big, slightly lopsided eyes, droopy lips. Just looks like he maybe got hit on the head when he was a kid.
Okay, I go up and present himself. I present us as the Grey Brotherhood, bringing in the bounty of the brigand Drusus.
That does look like Drusus. Yeah, let me see here. Kind of looks around. He says, so it looks like you're supposed to get 750 gold as a reward, and the Merchants Guild is throwing in another 75. So you'll have to collect the 75 from them, but I can give you the 750.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Stay here. He takes out some keys and he goes open to a door and he opens it up, shuts it behind him, and then he comes out and puts a big bag of gold in front of you guys. So it's about 7 pounds. Punk.
Tell me, quartermaster, would you
Huh?
be willing? Would you be willing to would you be willing to loan us any of the heaviest suits of armor that you have as we continue our task for the legate?
Why don't you roll 2d6, Sean? Let's see how willing he is. Nah, we need that armor for the troops. Sorry.
Okay.
He kind of looks at you guys and he's like, "Y'all look like you've been through hell. Did you run into the Red Eye Knolls?"
No. What do you know about that?
Oh, well, I mean, the Black Fang and the Red Eye Knolls, they're the toughest beastmen in the Viespin Forest. Nasty, nasty. You'll know them when you see them.
I suppose they have red eyes.
Okay.
I don't know. It might just be symbolic. I don't know.
Good day, sir.
Yeah. Is it? Okay. Good day for you, I guess. Not so good a day for me.
So-
It's a lot of gold.
Okay, to the Merchants Guild.
All right. So you guys head down to the forum, which is just packing up. It's getting to be evening time. So you get there just as things are closing up. And Arapos Karanos looks up and his mouth just opens. He's like, "I have to admit, I did not expect you to return alive. Are you here to ask for another loan?"
No, we're here to repay and we're here to collect your bounty on the brigand Drusus.
All right. So you hold up the head and he's like, "Well, that is the scumbag." Yep. Okay. Well, let me count out the gold for you. So he counts out another 75 gold for you guys. Okay, your hench Genevale is like watching him as he's counting, and she's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Watching really, really carefully. He's like, "Excuse me." He counts it out. He hands it over to you guys, and he says, "Of course, you still owe me looks at his tally, 450 gold.
We pushed the 450 counted right back to him.
Okay, then. Our debt is cleared.
Guildmaster, we have some other elements that we've collected in the forest, and would you take into account our extreme trustworthiness if we were to collateralize another loan?
A collateralized loan?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, I would.
%3 per month?
I can do 3% per month on a collateralized loan, yes.
I present this ornate collection of shell jewelry. Your estimate, sir.
He kind of eyeballs it. I think, actually, Sean, at this point, we need to make a bargaining check of you versus him. So I'm going to roll his bargaining.
Is it D20?
2d6 plus your charisma bonus.
Okay.
And plus any extra ranks of bargaining that you have.
Oh,
That was a good roll. So I don't think he's going to beat that, but we'll see. All right. So basically, Sean's character is a venturer. Venturers are expert bargainers. They generally get a 10% bonus on the price of goods and things like that. But his opponent in this negotiation is also a venturer. And so that venturer is also rolling back. And so he has a... Okay. He feels like he has to give you a good deal because you've just paid him back at an exorbitant interest rate and you've revenged some of his fallen friends. And so he seems to have taken a liking to you. And he says, I'll call it 165 gold pieces worth of shells for purposes of collateral.
Okay.
What else?
Would you loan us 300 on that if we leave that collateral with you at 3% per month?
I'd loan you 165.
Ah, okay. See.
Is that all you've got?
No, I will offer 3 of the prisms.
So another 150?
Yes.
Okay. So he says, all right, I'll double the collateral up to 330 at this point then.
Okay.
Anything else?
We will be traveling to Ciudadanos. Is there any, could we accompany one of your caravans, or if you know of one leaving?
He laughs and he says, there's not much travel happening along that road. It's gotten too dangerous.
Too dangerous?
The Beastmen raids. You know how it is. It's what you've been fighting against.
Do you have anything that needs to travel?
We can offer our service.
Not right now. No, I don't.
Okay.
Well, actually, he says, actually, let me think about that. Wait here 1 second. All right. So Sean, actually, what we're going to do, we can actually use the rules in ACKS for soliciting for cargo carriage. So you're in a class 5 market heading to a class 3-4 market. So that is -1. You have a single cart. So your current market impact is 1. Route travels on roads. Market impact is 2. Date of departure is more than 3 days. Okay, so 1, 0. Okay. And so he says, yeah. So he says, actually, I do have a shipment, mixed supplies that I need taken to Ciudadanos. Weighs about 120 stone.
we still, okay, 120. We can't transport all of it.
He says, okay, well, how much can you transport? It's 1.5 gold pieces per 24 miles for the cargo.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to say. I say, we'll meet you tomorrow, and we'll let you know departure and how much we can take.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. He heads off then. So he's issued you a loan for 330 gold pieces. I'll put that on our sheets. Okay. Now what do you guys want to do? At this point, your henchmen are all like,
now it's time to pay them out.
Yeah. Okay. So so you pay out the henchmen, after which time you have okay. So you have 214 gold pieces in cash, 330 gold pieces in cash from the loan, and you have the glassware.
And 3 of the prisms still left.
And 3 prisms, yeah.
Yeah. What was the total again?
Total of cash for you would be 544 gold pieces. So it's a good amount.
What was the amount that you said that the Eropus wanted, the weight that he wanted to transport? Was it 160?
120 stone.
120 stone.
Okay, when we're so so now is it time for Lisbalas to take his morale test?
Lisbalas needs to make a morale check. Okay, so his morale has been reduced by 1 because of the fact that he suffered a calamity. So a calamity is anytime certain bad events happen, one of those bad events is being reduced to 0 hit points. So he suffered a calamity, and he has suffered a wound, a permanent wound from the calamity. So let us pull up our chart and take a look at his loyalty. Okay, so he has a temporary -1 penalty to loyalty because of his wound, which hasn't been cured. You could compensate him for it if you'd like.
Well, I assumed that he was at the hospital.
Lisbalas is at the hospital. Yes, he is, but
yes.
he's yeah. Okay. All right. So he is going to be overall at a +1 on the hireling royalty check. So roll 2d6 and add +1.
What about my charisma?
That's already factored in.
Oh, it's already factored in.
+2. You hired him with the lawn. Oh, wow, Sean. That is the worst possible result. Yeah. Okay. So by the time you guys make your way back up towards the hospital, so sort of Tyrenius and Gwynfor are laying there, really not able to do much. Gwynfor is rasping, and Lisbalas is just trashing you guys to all of the assembled legionnaires. And he's like, these are the most incompetent idiots I've ever met. If it hadn't been for me, they would all be dead. The wizard can't even talk because he ran into a spear. The elf didn't do anything. And what do I get for it? I get a scar and a bit of gold. I'm done. They're terrible. Nobody worked for these guys. And he sees, and then he sees you guys entering, and he's like, I'm not ashamed to say it. You all suck. And he storms off.
I believe it was Felix Candida said, like a rooster crowing at the moon or a pig holding court over half-eaten cobs of corn, so is the man who thinks he can see all ends.
Avro looks at you, and Jenna is like, is he always like this? Eyebrows. I don't know. I don't speak Elven.
If you didn't know, I'm playing with my low charisma, trying to be interesting.
No,
So
I totally
I'm
get it. It's
trying to go-
fantastic.
I know Alex knows, but the rest of you might not know. So I'm
I
quotes.
get it. I get it.
All right. So Luz Ballas has left the party.
Yeah.
That's all right. Only the worthy can be part of the Grey Brotherhood.
That's right.
Okay. Did you guys want to pick up a cart? You had talked about doing that.
Yes.
What were you saying you wanted to do now?
I was going to open it up for the group. We could discuss what we want to do next. So I think what we're kind of at is we could rest you guys here at the hospital, and then and I think it's going to take us about 2 weeks if I'm correct. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
A month
before we can travel for the other healing. Is that
no. You could put Tyrannius in a cart and take him to Ciudadanos and get him healed, and the healing will replace the magical healing will replace the time that he needs to recover. So
okay.
So you don't necessarily need to expect to spend a month if you go get magical healing. It's just expensive. And if you get a
biggest
cart,
delay is me at 2 weeks.
yeah, and likewise,
Does any one of us understand? Sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, does any of us understand when we say it's expensive? What does that mean?
325 gold.
Like,
pieces.
would I know? Okay.
325 gold pieces. So you have the money.
One thought I had was if we wanted to take the Auropos's offer, if we can hire 2 mules, or buy 2 mules, those can carry 50 stone each. So 50 stone per mule plus 15 stone, I think it's from the donkey. That gets us just shy of 120. So we could, with 2 mules, potentially we could carry that entire. Of course, we need one more to pull the cart.
Or you could buy an ox cart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or an ox cart.
That's what I was
but
thinking.
That might be one way to do it.
So yeah, so if we bought a large cart with an ox, we can transport the wounded, and we can also make a little money on the trip. So
yep.
Now, if that's probably what we. That's everybody agree. That's probably what we should do.
Yep, I agree.
Okay. All right.
Tyrannius holds up a sign saying, "We're a traveling menagerie. We can make money."
Yes. Okay. So you'll have 80 stone of carrying capacity in the cart drawn by the ox, of which 30 will be towards wounded people. So that'll leave you with 50 stone, and then you have a mule, which is carrying your glassware. A donkey, which is carrying the glassware. So Jonathan is right. If you purchase 2 mules and the cart, that'll give you enough to carry the stuff for Auropos. Although you won't earn money on that trip because the reward for the delivery will not be more than the cost of the mules. But it's an investment and it doesn't hurt to have mules. So it's up to you.
They also like donkeys that can go back into the dungeon.
Yep.
So
I think so.
More out next time.
I think we should do that.
Okay, so you buy 2 more mules. You buy 2 mules, an ox, a cart. So that's 130 gold pieces. Sean, with your bargaining, you're able to get that for 117 gold pieces.
Okay.
All right, because you're a venturer, it's a very small market, but because you're a venturer, you pull strings. You're like, hey, and you're able to finagle it, get it all purchased today.
Are we on the 6th of Pendulum now?
Let's see. So today is the you reached Turostem on the 5th. Yes, we're now on the 6th. It's the morning of the 6th Pendulum. Yeah.
Well, I think a big dinner and a time at the bath
Okay.
And we'll
And head out on the 7th?
and head out on the 7th.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. All right. So, there was one thing I needed to look up, which was the fee you'll get from the merchant. And he says passenger cargo carriage. So it is 48.96. It is 102 miles to Ciudadanos. So that is distance. Okay, so it's 120 stones. 120 times 1.25 times. Okay, so it will be a 6 gold piece fee for delivery of the goods. So, which doesn't sound like a lot of money, but you have to put yourself in the point of view of like, well, a man with a cart and a mule doesn't cost that much, and he can make the trip every 3 days. And so,
Yeah.
think about the return of investment that way. It is a lot of money. It's just not a lot of money to adventurers, relatively speaking. But of course, the risk is much less.
Yeah, but there's also the security aspect. So,
Well, I mean, I think shouldn't everybody rest? Maybe we should rest another day so that everybody is back up as full as we can be.
They'll all be full. Yeah.
Okay.
Oops, wrong one.
Okay, then I think the last thing is how long do we think the trip is going to be so we can deduct some rations from the.
So you guys are able to move in a wagon on a road. You're able to move 24 miles per day. So that's 4 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it'll be 3 more hexes after that. You'll get to Ciudadanos. So
it's like 2 1/3 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 2/3 days. Yeah, you'll get there the late afternoon on the 3rd day. Stop moving.
Sorry, I think that was me. I had the wrong thing. Sorry.
No problem.
I will deselect that.
Yep.
I didn't know I had that selected.
Yep. All right. So you setting off?
So Alex, in addition to the coin, we've still got 3 prisms and 3 cases of glass.
That's right.
That's correct. Okay. And then whatever the merchant is sending with us.
Correct. 120 stone of mixed goods. It looks like it's a mix of grain, salt, and some spices.
Okay.
So you've piled your cart with that, and you head off, and you've been on the road about 2 hours when from the southeast, so it's still fairly in the morning, so it's silhouetted against the morning sun coming from the southeast. You see a great winged shape. It's much larger than any hawk or eagle you've ever seen, and you can't really make out what it is. It's about 1,200 yards away at least when you spot it. What do you do?
It's flying?
It's flying. Yeah, great winged shape flying from the southeast.
Is there any place to hide? The hills, trees, scrub, or
You guys want to? You can try and evade. You can try and evade if you'd like.
Describe a bit more. Coming right at us, go in the distance, perpendicular. What?
It is definitely
Approaching.
flying northwest. So whether or not it is coming directly at you or it just happens to be flying that direction, you can't tell, but it is closing the distance with you. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try to head back towards town.
We're about 2 hours out, right? I think it'll be
2
on
hours
before then.
out. Miles
we
out.
won't be able to make that.
Let's try to find a place to evade.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you guys are in sparse scrubland. And let's see. The size of your party is at this point. 1, 2, 3.
Am I able to scramble off of the cart and potentially hide under it, or under, on the other side of it or something.
Yeah, you would do that, but that wouldn't be part of evasion. That would be if it gets closer and it goes into combat. You absolutely can do that.
Sure.
Evasion is just seeing a chance, like, for instance, is there a place nearby, like a hill with a little valley or a dale or something like that? Okay, so you guys are in sparse scrubland along the road, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 party members. Plus, we also have to add in the mounts. So it makes
We don't have those dollars.
13, I subtracted him 12, 13, 14. Okay. And so you guys are needing a 14 plus to evade, but it is also aerial, so you need an 18 plus to evade.
Good God. It's like we're just marching along, waving banners and flags and playing trumpets.
Well, I mean, you know, you're a party of 15,
You're
more or less, on a
freaking
road.
wagon
So
train.
hard to evade. Yep. All right, so go ahead and roll that, Sean, as the party leader.
Just straight up D20.
Yep. All right. So you guys desperately look for some place to avoid what's about to come, and you just don't see it. The road is clear. And all right, whatever is approaching you is approaching very, very fast. It closes the distance by about 500 yards. It's about 700 yards out now. And you're able to see it as definitely some sort of feathered creature. Its wingspan is much larger than any eagle or hawk you've ever seen. It has talons out, and it looks to be probably, you would guess the wingspan is probably 15 to 20 feet wide.
So great.
Current speed, about how much time do we have until it closes?
Well, it's about 100 yards up in the air, and it's about 700 yards away. So you probably still have a bit of time yet. 2 rounds.
All right.
How long is rounds a minute?
A round is a variable amount of time that can be as little as 10 seconds and up to a minute, because
all right.
Okay.
similar
right,
to
well-
a war game, it depends on the circumstances of what's happening.
So
Right. I was just round versus turn and all that kind of stuff. Got
All
it.
right.
Oh yeah. A round
that's-
is the short period of time. A turn is the long period of time.
okay. So,
Okay.
so if that's the case, let me see. Is there space up on the cart?
No.
I'm diving off the cart.
Torches would torches scare the thing off? Maybe, I don't know. Because some things don't like fire.
All right. So Tyrenius gets off the cart. You're going underneath it, or
I'm just jumping off and scrambling. I'm putting it between me and the approaching potential threat,
yeah.
and I may dive under it if it continues to close.
Yeah.
okay?
I can't do anything other than
Okay.
hide. And then
All right.
do you want people to call out everyone else's actions, or do you want to
Yeah,
wait?
So-
call it for actions. Yeah.
I would say spear surround the beasts.
Yeah,
Move
so-
in under the cart, and then
I'm not waiting.
I'll be on the threat side of the wagon and get ready to cast the spell.
Okay.
I'll grudgingly hop onto the cart too. I don't like it, but I'm useless. So
Yeah.
I'll hop.
Okay.
Avro
got
is prepping his spear for incoming, like a cavalry charge repulsion,
Right.
and
Yeah.
Jenna will draw her bow,
So,
everyone
yeah.
else.
bigger than the crows in the eaves of the inn.
Avarice is readying his bow.
I'm readying crossbow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
And then I would say it's the spear. Yeah, the spear on the threat side of the pack animals, because that's probably where it's going.
And Haglak is also bracing next to Avro.
got it. Okay. So the giant bird continues its approach towards you. It's now about 200 yards out, and you can see that it is a massive eagle of some sort. And at this point, I need a theology check.
Oh,
Raymond.
yeah. If it's an eagle, it's likely a lawful creature of some sort. So 1d20 greater than 7 is what I need.
There you go.
Roll 1d20. Why do I keep doing that? Okay.
All right.
Yes!
Raymond, you identify this is a rock, the sacred bird of Aminar, the greatest of the eagles.
Oh!
This is a small rock.
Yeah, okay.
They grow to much larger sizes, but they are lawful creatures that live in the forests, and they prey on beastmen and other creatures. So, and you note it has not descended as it's approached you. It has maintained its cruising height.
Okay. Well, we can certainly smell what it's cooking. So I raise my shield, which has the symbol of Aminar on it.
Awesome. Okay, when you raise your shield with the symbol of Aminar, the eagle with its amazing vision sees it, and it circles once around you guys, circles twice, and gives out a great screech of respect to you. And then it begins to head northwest towards the beastmen-laden Viaspin forest.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we continue our travels during the day as you make your way down the road. All right. So at this point, it's beginning to get towards dark. You've been on the road about 8 hours. The sun is westering. And in the dim light, however, your naturalist, Tyrrhenius, spots a large patch of succulent plants, about 2 to 3 feet tall, with fleshy leaves, long, thin, arched in an organized rosette pattern. They seem familiar to him. They have tall flower spikes, but the flowers and leaves are all blackened and dead, as if from disease or blight. It's somewhat unusual. So it is not a particularly common plant. You'd need to get closer if you wanted to try and identify it. And it is certainly strange that this area where you are that is so blighted and blackened.
All right. As I'm riding along, I notice this, and I start tapping on the wagon to get people's attention and pointing to it urgently that we want to pull over. And I'm going like, stop.
Okay.
And then
Great.
I sign.
I'm right next to him. I'll holler. Irenaeus says something. He sees something.
Okay.
And I'm like just really excited and just gabbering through I'm picturing like a hole here that all the air is wheezing through. So I jot down that I want to look at this.
Okay.
Who would I point to? And I point to my protege, Zoparos, and I pointed to him, and I pointed out to him.
Yeah.
So between the two of us, we'd like to go down and inspect it, and maybe use my collegiate wizardry to assess this, and look at these herbs.
My lord.
Although potentially naturalism.
My lord wizard Tyrrhenius, can I suggest we bring Avaro with us? It's just I want to stay Zoparos the Undying, and that looks very dangerous.
So I nod and I point to Avaro, who obviously heard that.
Avaro gets up, gets a spear. He's like, I'm in. Let's do it. Okay, so you make your way over. Give me a naturalism check.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I get an 11, so that's a pass.
Yes. So this was a very large patch of aloe, the healing herb. Could have extracted about 100 pounds of aloe from this plant had it not been destroyed. The destruction is quite unnatural, and you can only think it must have been caused by necromantic magic or undead creatures creating a sinkhole of evil. For your vantage point, you can see that within the Luson forest, there are other portions of the forest where you see similar blight. as if something dark lives here, something that is casting a shadow and killing off some of the herbs, and the plant life.
Okay, so I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at the apparent trail into the forest, and I jot down a note to hold up to the rest of the party, and point into the forest that something unnatural lives here. And given that I am in my current state, I don't look very excited, kind of fearful as I look into it. I really don't want to go in there. But that way.
Zapiros turns and he says, "My Lord Master Tyrrhenius warns us of deadly necromantic magic and believes we should not advance into the forest. We should advance away from the forest on the road."
That is a prudent judgment at this time, for we have brothers that need attention in town before we can bring order to this forest.
All right. Avro looks kind of disappointed, but he trots after you guys as you step away from the forest. He looks back longingly. All right. Back on the road. So at this point, it's probably time to make camp pretty soon. You could push on a little bit if you don't want to make camp too close to this.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you make a camp following your usual schedule. People attend to their gods. They do their worship. They clean and polish their weapons, etc. Okay. So the night passes uneventfully, and your journey continues the following day. All right. And so you guys are making your way further west along the road, and Tyrrhenius, you spot another patch of interesting-looking herbs. It's a patch of about 30 inches tall of nettles with hairy stems that have recently flowered to produce beautiful pink and purple blooms. And, you recognize them, you think, but you'd need to get closer to really verify exactly what they are. These are on the north side of the road, close to where the Viamere marshes are. So it's some sort of marsh plant growing in the wetter lands there, and it is not despoiled and blackened like the useful plants you saw near the forest.
How far into the day's journey are we at this point?
2 hours.
Just started?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will hold up my symbol for a halt.
Okay.
To try to call a halt. You point this out. And
go check
questioningly, like, should we go?
Yeah,
and if people agree, I would. We're going into a marsh.
It's not a full marsh. It's the outskirts of a marsh. It's just more wet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think again, I might point to the crone also. I feel like this is an area she might be comfortable.
Okay.
I point to her as Zopiros and Alvaro again.
All right. Zopiros coughs, gets up, and Alvaro is like, "Great, let's go attack the bushes."
I mime opening my robe and relieving myself to him.
And all right. So
As
he
if
goes
he
over.
would maybe need to do that.
It's a good idea actually for taking a break. So he goes over, takes a leak. Zapiros is like, "Isn't he our?" Revilla is kind of limping over to them. All right, give me a naturalism roll. Okay. This is a great find. This is marsh woundwort, which is one of the most valuable of the healing herbs. It's also known as heal all or lamb's ear, and it gives a +2 bonus on proficiency throws when using the healing proficiency. There's 93 pounds of it. That's worth 930 gold pieces if harvested.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's XP.
great, great, good fortune.
Let's get to harvesting it.
Okay, it'll take about 3 hours, but it's not tiresome work, so it won't prevent you from still being able to get a full day's travel in, because of course you have 12 hours of daylight, 8 hours of travel, plus 3 hours of harvesting if you want.
Hey, I think that's good.
Yep. Okay. All right.
And I think Aminar is smiling on us with the rock, and now healing herbs.
Something was smiling on you guys when I rolled these encounters, that's for sure. Okay. About 3 hours pass, and you then continue to make your way down the road. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you've made your way about 12 more miles down the road. There's probably an hour till sunset, and the keen eyes of Avarice call a halt from his position near the front, and he turns back and he says, I think it's a sleeping lion lying on the road ahead of us.
Are lions normal in this part of the world?
They are found in the waste and the grasslands to the east. So yeah, they're normal.
Okay.
It's like the European lion before the Romans made it extinct.
Yeah,
they tainted my worldview.
We should probably avoid that.
There's no way to avoid it. It's in the middle of the road.
Tyrenius looks at Raymond, points to Raymond, points to the lion. He goes, thumbs up.
All right.
I think he means magical properties.
Tyrenius is thinking.
All right.
Tyrenius mentally is thinking, lions are lawfully good, right? Lions are good.
Lions are good.
No. I mean, it's another one. It's another one.
Of course, I don't know.
Narnia.
Yeah, I actually don't
All
know. That's just what runs through his mind. It's like lions are noble and good.
That's right.
Newton is Mr. Noble.
Yeah,
Or
well,
Raymond.
I don't think they're quite like rocks in that way. No, but it's not threatening us, and I mean, we don't necessarily have to threaten it per se unless it decides that it's hungry. If it's laying down like that as opposed to prowling, it's probably well fed or dead. So, is there a way for us to take the cart around it?
You'd have to go off road, and it would slow you down. So it wouldn't be too bad, but it's also going to make a really loud noise when you take the cart off road, so it's going to wake the lion anyway. Unless you really want to double back, divert, go into other territory.
All right,
you can, or you can go into the forest.
No. Let's just be okay. Let's do a guarded approach. I don't want to fight the lion because it's a risk, but yeah.
All right. As you begin to approach the lion, sort of at a very cautious pace, everyone's nervous, and you start to hear a sound, and then a hideous stench reaches your nostrils, and you see that the lion is dead.
Let's back off.
Oh, it's dead. Okay, so it's basically covered in maggots.
Yeah.
Well, it's got flies.
Or something's eating it.
It's just got flies around it.
Okay, so it's covered in flies. All right. That's kind of unusual, seeing a dead lion. There might be a clue associated with it, as in what may have killed it. Is there a way to... Actually, I'll go with the crone around the lion.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it sounds like the back of the lion is in our direction. It's pointing towards us. It sounds like the back of the lion is pointing towards us.
That's right. That's right.
So whatever the wounds that kill this lion are probably on the other side. So I'll go with the crone, walk around the other side, but not necessarily getting too close, and see if she has any sense of what may have killed it.
Okay.
What are Avarice? This is kind of out of game. What is Avarice's motivation? Like, what is he going to be cowardly and sneaky and being a thief and not going up, or is he going to be sneaky and trying to find out what's going on with the lion?
Avarice is pretty cowardly. Yeah.
Okay.
We established that when James was running it. So, yeah. Okay. So no
right.
problem. So Raymond and Ravilla the crone sort of circle around the lion, and when you do, you see several things. So first off, the lion has blood on its claws and on its muzzle. Second, the lion is wearing a collar with a leash, but the leash has been broken, like it just got ripped. Third, the lion has a punctured ear with a tag on it. And fourth, the lion has several arrows sticking into its belly, as well as a large spear wound.
So this was a domesticated lion, most likely owned by someone who fights or who for gladiatorial purposes.
Not sure. That's as much as you can tell from here.
I say we leave this. We go around this thing.
Interest. So but you said the ear has a tag.
Mm-hmm.
So that the tag might contain information about the owner. So some sort of mark or something like that.
Yep.
I mean, this is interesting enough to me because it's rather odd. So I will go ahead and cover my face,
Mm-hmm.
in order to not inhale as much of the fumes of death.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do I have a utility knife? Actually, that's a good question.
Ravilla certainly does. She has a dagger. Okay, so
She does. Okay, then I'll borrow her dagger, go in, and then cut off the ear with the tag on it.
Okay, so you don't have healing though, right? Or animal husbandry or anything?
No, I do not. I mean,
Okay.
if she's okay with doing it, but I'm not gonna order her to do it. That just doesn't seem right.
She looks at you and she's like, "We just fought 24 live brigands. Why are you scared of the dead lion?"
Oh, I'm not scared of the dead lion. Just it's just foul. Fighting brigands is one thing.
You've never
with the rotting corpses.
birthed a child, have you?
No. It would be an amazing sight for me to bear a child.
I said birth the child, as in been. Never mind. She goes over, cuts the tag off, comes back. She says, "Lion hasn't been dead too long, maybe 30 hours or so." Hands you the tag.
Okay. Does it have any symbols?
The tag has Aran writing on it. It says Omnis Plurus Lannister.
Okay. So I take it over to Cassinus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is owned by some sort of gladiatorial
Yep.
person. So
yeah. Okay.
So I mean, this tag should be enough. It might fetch some sort of reward.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you take the tag and move on.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know anything about collars, by the way, so I don't know if the collar is worth anything. So I won't comment on that. I don't know if you want to.
Well,
I mean, it's worth asking Raven if she saw any jewels on it or anything like that.
so it's worth noting the reason I told you that it hasn't been dead very long is it may still have spiritual residue power.
All for collecting resource.
Special components, yes. If
okay.
if Tyrannius wants to go up and investigate, he can.
I can go up too and use my
Yeah.
collegiate schooling as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after seeing the fact that the other members did not get mauled or anything bad happened to them, like it wasn't a trap, then I would potentially do that. Why don't you go ahead first? Gwen, well, if Gwynfor is going to give it a try,
I'll be right back.
I'll let Gwynfor do it.
Sure.
All right.
And I am not in it.
So I guess you.
All right, Gwynfor, you're not able to figure out what the components are of the lion. So you just end up, it's your elven pity swoons over you, and you just feel bad for the poor Amanu.
All right. Would it be okay if I give it a try then?
Of course.
Tyrannius, look at him and sees nothing happen really.
Yep.
Step aside, emotions.
I'll
Okay.
step aside.
Well,
All right. So, yeah. So the lion's heart and tongue are valuable special components, and they seem to still have their magic in them. So those rolls I made, the D100 rolls, were the rolls to see if the magic had faded away due to the time period since it had died, and they had not yet faded away.
All right.
So it has a heart worth 100 gold and a tongue worth 100 gold for various spell components.
Well, if you let Ravena know, I guess she'll go ahead and get those.
Okay. So you guys should probably sell those special components to the Tower of Knowledge when you get to Ciudadanos, so you don't have an immediate need for them, whereas you do have a lot of need for cash. Okay. All right.
Cash
So
money.
the evening comes, and we have a check for evening encounters as you guys settle down. Okay. Fortunately for you, the night passes uneventfully, and we head into the next day, which is now the 9th of Pendulin. And you guys reach Ciudadanos. Okay.
Now
so
any
maybe
XP for stuff collected on the way, do we have to sell it before we get the XP, or the fact that we have these parts on us?
Spell component parts never get you XP. And you'd have to sell the healing
Never.
herbs if you want it. Never. No. Special components. The XP is for killing the monster. The special components are just a nice bonus.
Got it. Okay.
So selling them, of course, is very good. You could also sell the healing herbs. That you would get experience points for, but of course you might want to keep the healing herbs because it's,
We're going through those like nobody's
Really?
business.
healing herbs are really valuable. So it's up
I
to
mean,
you.
but 900 GP. How many uses is that?
That's 90 uses, 90 healing herbs.
90 uses. So 10 GP per dose.
Yeah.
I want to sell part of it. I mean, that wouldn't be unreasonable.
I mean, if we were to sell even half, but I don't know. If we need the cash, then that's fine. I mean, probably sell that last, I guess. But
split the difference and sell half of it, I would say maybe, but
Okay. Well, you guys just
90 uses is quite a bit.
all right.
So
You reached Ciudadanos from the east map. So as you're approaching on the road, there's a caravanserai if you want to stop outside. Otherwise, you can take the caravan. You can take it up to the gates and head on through there.
So, based on the character's background, I've been here before. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I think the first thing that we need to go is let's go to the temple and see who and how much we can we'll start with Tyrannius and see who we can get healed.
Okay.
So,
So,
I think we need to leave the caravan at the outside, don't we?
you don't have to, but you have to pay a toll to enter with the caravan. So it's up to you. It's not going to be a high toll because you just have one little cart.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go inside. Pay the toll.
All right. So you pay the toll. It's 2 silver pieces, and so the way that's calculated, guys. So there's a table in the game. You look at the market class, and then you look at the amount of stones of cargo you bring in, and that's the toll. So you guys make your way through the gate, and this is the main road here that runs from the east gate down to the plaza of the Pantheon, where the Temple of the Empyreans and the Merchant Guild House are located. So you guys have gotten to about there, making your way through the city, which there's about 3 hours of daylight left at this point. So people are trying to hustle to close out their evening business. Others have already wrapped up their business and are heading over to the bathhouse for late afternoon bathing. And
So, Alex, quick question.
yeah,
There's no 12 on your list.
12 is the Merchants Guild. I don't know why that is not correct. So you've gotten about halfway down the street. So Ciudadanos was an old elven town that was captured during the Argolian War. It's situated on the east bank of the Mirman River, and it controls the trade routes between Azenradok and the northern cities of Cipheron, Pyrgos, and Larissa. It's also the supply base for the southwest stretch of the unbroken line from Turos Tem to Turos Tele. Since the legions were called west 2 years ago, supplying the garrisons has become much less lucrative. And so Ciudadanos has kind of fallen on hard times. And so it has a little bit of like a Rust Belt recessionary feel. It's also, because it was built by elves organically, it does not follow the typical Aran grid pattern. And those of you who are Arans and Tyrrhenians and Nichians find it kind of confusing and overwhelming. So Gwynfor is the only one who really feels comfortable there because, of course, it all follows the organic natural lay of the land and the course of the river and the hills, and it makes total sense.
This is a city.
Yes. All right. So you've made your way about halfway through the city. It's not a huge city, by the way. You can see the scale of the map. It's one of those 15-minute cities, so as to speak, like they used to build in the ancient world. And so you are trotting down very nicely and calmly down the road. There's crowds of people all around, and then all of a sudden you hear a scream. A merchant stall sends pickles and vegetables spraying through the air as a heavy draft horse, which seems to have a harness half on it, is galloping roughshod through the stalls. And you hear a voice cry out, "A reward for anyone who can stop that horse!" And the horse is barreling right towards you guys.
Anyone have writing?
And barreling towards you.
Let's try to get out of the way. Get out of the way.
You just get out of the way. You're a proficient.
Navarro has writing.
Hold on. Okay, I'll try this because why not? I will cast Remove Fear.
On the horse?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Spell
really
will
clever.
calm a target creature, whether faltering or frightened, whether due to magic or morale failure.
That's awesome.
So
all right. That's really clever. You calm the horse down by the power and grace of Aminar. There's like, a golden glow around you for a moment. And the horse goes, and the merchant comes running up and he's like, "Aminar be praised. Thank you, Father."
Listen. Indeed. Well,
He says, "Can I reward you a donation to the temple?"
yes, you can. Well, in fact, we are on a mission to bring order to the borderlands. There are many threats, and the Grey Brotherhood will use this your reward in order to put down beastmen and remove brigands from the road.
He reaches out and he hands you 8 gold, and he says, "This is all I can spare, but I hope it helps."
Yes.
Okay, so and he sort of nods respectfully, and let's see, Newton, give me a quick reaction roll.
All right. I hand over the funds to Cassius.
Okay.
For the purse. All right. 2d6 plus 2. All right. Let's go. Oh, not good.
Okay. So he says, he hands you the thing, and he says, "It's not much. It's all I can spare." He says, and then he kind of gets like a firm sort of, almost a little bit of an angry tone, and he says, "Listen, if you're serious about righting the wrongs, you really need to do something about the undead in the Lusuan forest. This is disrupting trade." And then he goes on his way.
Okay. The undead.
Yeah. The Lusuan forest was the forest where you guys encountered.
Yeah, that's how we.
Yep. That's what we passed. Yeah.
I point to my notepad, and I have a little map drawn.
Yep.
All
that
right.
area.
We
right.
need to be well prepared in order to take on that kind of evil, holy water and such, and
Yep.
much more.
All right, so you've reached the plaza of the Pantheon, which is the largest plaza in Ciudadanos. It's about 125 feet across. It's the center of commerce. At its center is a fountain with the 7 gods and goddesses of the Elven Pantheon, which are the same gods. They're the equivalent of the gods of the Aran Pantheon, but they just kind of look a little different. They have pointed ears, have slightly different names. Amun Arn instead of Amanar, Karak instead of Khalifa, Anya instead of Iana, Talesian instead of Istrius, Damara instead of Mitiara, and Nuthane instead of Narovis, Tweedan instead of Turas. So they're portrayed as elves in traditional Argolian garb. There's a number of shops and stores encircling the plaza, and then there's an open air marketplace here where traveling merchants can hawk their wares. You see a number of interesting shops. There's an animal menagerie. There's a sign, Rodok Steelworks, which has dwarven ruins beneath it. There's a large chandlery, and then there's a row of stalls that looks to sell religious trinkets and paraphernalia. Looming over the plaza of the Pantheon is the Temple of the Imperians, which is a 2-story structure of white marble. It's about 65 feet wide, 30 feet deep. 2-3 stories, so like 30-foot ceilings, and then big arcade of columns adorned with ivory. And the main entrance is via the 15-foot tall portico on the wall facing the plaza. And it's very lively. You see worshippers offering sacrifice, and a number of crusaders and priestesses, accepting donations, performing healing magic, leading in prayers and sacrifice.
Is there any kind of donation thing near any of the elven statues?
No,
Or is it all just with, okay.
there probably was at one time, but the Arans took it down when they took the city from your people.
Sad.
Very sad.
Same Imperians. Why didn't they use what we already created? They're more beautiful. Why didn't they use what we created? More beautiful.
I don't know. Okay, well, what did you want to do? Did you want to go to the temple?
Yeah, the temple for healing.
Okay, so you guys make your way over there, and a young novice of Mitiara comes up, and she says, "Welcome to the Temple of the Imperians. Have you come to offer sacrifice, or do you seek divine aid?"
Raymond?
We have come to give thanks to the Imperial gods and also to receive aid for our comrades who have been injured in the course of bringing order to the borderlands.
She says, "Of course, I have a measure of healing magic. Can you show me the wounds?"
And I bring her over to Tyrenius and Gwynfor.
Okay, she looks at Tyrenius.
Higlak
Oh,
first.
Higlak. Sorry, Higlak. I forgot
Tyrenius and
the
Higlak,
halfling.
and she says, "Oh, let me go get the Reverend Mother Madeline. These injuries are beyond my skills, but I'm sure she can help you." So she excuses herself, and a little bit later, she returns with a woman. She looks like she's maybe 50 years old. She has a very serene face, Tyrenian woman, aquiline nose. She's wearing white robes. Relatively sort of a handsome woman. And she looks at you and she says, "These wounds are very grave. I could heal you, but it would require a great donation to the temple because many others could be helped."
We are. What is the amount of the donations? Because we are happy to help as many others, and to help our comrades so that we can continue to bring order to the borderlands.
Of course.
Make the roads safe for civilization.
She says it would be 650 gold pieces donated to the temple for the two of you.
Brother Castanus?
So we can. Does the 544 Alex, quick question. Does the 544 include the loan that we got from?
No.
You said yes or no?
No, it does not. So you have a total in terms of cash. You have 874 right now.
Okay. I say let's.
And it's
then-
600 and change for both of them combined?
Yeah.
Did I understand that correctly? Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay, that's way less than I thought. I misread the book.
They're not dead, Jonathan.
Excellent.
So they don't need raised dead.
Oh,
They just need repair
Okay.
disability. That's why it's a different price.
Cool.
Oh, Sean, you actually have a little bit less because you had bought the cart and the mules. Did you?
That's
subtract-
right. That's right. That's right.
That was 117. So
Yeah.
you guys currently have 757 plus whatever you started with,
Yeah.
which was 71.
Yes.
Okay. So currently at 828 minus 650 would leave you with 148 gold pieces.
Okay.
Plus you also have the glassware and you have the
Yep.
prisms as well. Yeah. Okay, so you want to pay that?
Yes.
Okay. Very exciting. So we get to use the tampering with mortality rules. So
Twice.
in ACKS, just as when you get reduced to 0 hit points, you have to roll on a table to see if you suffer permanent wounds. When you have permanent runes removed with magic, you have to roll on a table to see if you suffer any effects from tampering with mortality in this way. The table that's used is based on your alignment. So we'll start with Tyrenius. What alignment are you? You're neutral. Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. So that's not great. In terms of getting healed.
I have my own interests.
I understand. I totally get it here. All right, so just pulling it up here. I just have to find Axiom 16. Okay, so Tyrenius, tampering with mortality. Okay, you are adult. You are in the temple, so it's +2. The caster is 8th level, so it's +4, so that's a total of +6. And you're at -1 from your injury, which is +7. Do you have a wisdom modifier, Tyrenius?
Oh, I might. No.
No. All right.
No, I'm not very wise. I forgot.
Do you have a wisdom
Because I'm
penalty?
not wise. I don't remember.
Will,
I'm
it's
in-
actually
Will, that's right.
Will.
Will. Sorry, Will. Thank you. We changed it because we got rid of. For those of you following along, we changed that because ACKS is abandoning the OGL, so we had to change some terminology. So it's Will. Okay. So
Okay.
Tyrenius,
Am I
your
looking at a
will
different
is
stat
high.
for now, or am I?
It's still the same stat. I just haven't updated the character sheets because it requires coding. So your willpower is 9,
got it.
so no penalty. So roll a d20
Yep.
and add a total of 7. That's 4 for her level. And then
Yep.
2 for
Yep.
the temple.
2 for the temple, 6. What was the other bonus for? 6.
There's a +2, +4, and then
-1. So yeah, so sorry. So you're at +5, d20 +5.
okay. Well, then that will be an 8.
An 8. Okay. And give me a d6 roll.
Ooh.
6. Okay.
It's very
All right.
swing. Roll low, roll high.
Yep. So she lays hands on you and to cure you, and the magic courses through you, and there's like a ripple that sort of shoots out, and you are made whole, and you can speak, but you feel exhausted and utterly drained of energy because of the massive amount of healing you've just had to undergo. And then a moment later,
I can speak.
you feel something ruffling under your robes. And then a creature which resembles a squirrel with scales and bat wings sticks its head out of your robes and says, "Hello, Tyrenius. I've been sent from the outer darkness to check on you. We thought you'd be joining us."
Who are you?
"I'm your familiar."
Oh, that can't
priestess-
be.
The priestess steps back and she like looks at the crusader and she's like, "Is this man not a servant of law?"
I myself was deceived in this regard.
All right. And she looks at the barbarian and she's like, "Is this barbarian a servant of law?"
I believe he is actually, but I believe he is.
He's
But he
also
is a-
neutral.
Higlak says, "I am very devout."
Yes, he would.
She says, "You must leave the temple with that thing." You're like
But I
struggling to get up.
always, I obey all the laws. I'm a very honest person.
"He won't be for long." Ah!
I'm still looking at this thing in horror.
And when you look at it closely, you realize that its face actually has some resemblance to your own. It waves at you, and
I stagger.
It lands on your shoulder, and he says, "You know what would make you feel better? Whores. Let's go find some."
Oh,
All right. Over to Higlak, who is thinking, like, is it so bad to not have a hand? I don't know. Okay. So,
I know I'm thinking that with my voice,
you're right. Yeah.
but at least I'm lawful.
Willie rolled terrible. What can you do? Okay.
I
So
think I
Higlak
should have
is-
just retired.
No, it's great. Okay, so Higlak's going to be at +6, -1 because he lost a hand. So Higlak is also going to be at a +5. Let's check his will.
His will is not good. He's at a
All right, so he's at
-1.
+4. All right, so roll for Higlak. D20 +4.
Oh shit! Pardon
This
me.
is not.
Oh my
This is
god!
not a good day for the neutrals.
Why are you guys neutral? Like what?
There's a reason to have faith.
Okay,
Well, you say that now.
and roll a D6.
So high and mighty you all are.
Roll a D6 for Higlak, please. Oh, wow. Okay. Tampering with mortality has had a deleterious effect on Higlak's mind. He loses 1 point of wisdom permanently. All right. So we'll go ahead and
You
adjust.
came out ahead on that one.
Yeah, that's actually good for Higlak.
Right? He's like, I didn't need that anyway. Okay, so Higlak and you will both need 25 days of rest instead of 30, so it's still going to be a lot of rest. Would have been much less, except you both rolled absolutely terrible. So.
Yeah, that was a really bad roll.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It counteracts my rolls last time, I guess. Man.
Yeah.
So, but Higlak has his hand back.
Higlak is fully healed. He has his hand back. He has his ear back.
Oh, I forgot about the ear. Nice.
Yep. Okay. So, all right. So this familiar.
Tyrannus is just inflamed with jealousy at this point. Looking at Higlak, he's like, "Why did I get?"
So you get a free familiar, but there's got to be a downtime somewhere. I mean, if it gets killed, you're kind of screwed, actually. But
how many hit points do you have, Tyrannus?
Which points?
How many hit points?
I have 4.
Okay. All right. So here's the way it works. So Zahak the Imp has a 330-foot movement rate, AC 1, 2 hit points. He can make one attack that does 1d3 -1. Obviously, he's not a very formidable combatant. However, when he is within 30 feet of you, you gain a +1 bonus to all saving throws. And you also gain access to a random feat, which I need to roll. And when he is near you, you gain access to the lore mastery feat. So basically, he provides you with secret and occult information.
Oh, Higlak. Tyrannus is feeling a little happier now.
so
His imp
when
is-
you say feat, you mean proficiency?
Proficiency. Yeah. So Zahak says, you'll find I'm very valuable to have around. Just don't let me get killed because I don't want to go back there either, really.
He's a trivia imp.
What? My knowledge is not trivia. It's dark and powerful secrets of occult importance. Did you know this alleyway was built by an overweight arc? Oh, it is trivia.
I'll be going to the common houses on Thursday nights then. Trivia night.
The group retires from adventuring to pursue trivia. Okay. So the other thing you guys had wanted to do was you said you wanted to go to the Tower of Knowledge. Is that right?
Also, they need to check me into the hospital, I think. So,
In terms of a hospital, well,
wherever I get my bed rest.
yeah, typically you're going to get an inn or something. You know.
Oh, okay, that's sufficient.
Yeah, you just need to be in an inn. You have a healer in the party, so she can take care of you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We were always in the hospital at Turos Tim, so my brain went there. Got it. That makes sense.
At this point, is Gwyn 4's need for healing different or need for rest different than Tyrannus or Higlak, or are we all in the same boat?
You're all in the same boat. Yep. It's his is physical healing and yours is spiritual healing. You've been spiritually drained, so you're exhausted. But yeah, you just need you need 25 days of bed rest and he needs 14.
We got one already before we left town, I think. So I should be at 13.
13.
In Turos Tim.
Yeah.
Not the
All right.
cold, but I want to get hail again.
So heading over to the inn, the Stone Tankard Inn, Castanus is familiar with it. It's a popular inn for locals traveling. It's named for its mugs, which are all made from carved granite hewn by the proprietor Bartos Stonehewer. And so the menu is scrawled in chalk on a large blackboard hung over the stone hearth. Barto says, when you come in, he says, "You here for food or lodging?"
Both.
All right. We got 4 shared rooms, or I can rent out our 2 private rooms.
Well, let's see how many How many we're at 11?
Yeah. So you want to just get all the rooms?
I think it's going to take, well, what do we run per night? What do we run per week?
For all the rooms? 2 gold a night total.
Do it. We could sell those claws for 100.
Yeah. Yep. We'll take it.
Okay. All right. So that'll be 2 GP, and I'll just mark it down times 25 days. So that's 50 GP. All right. He says, you want to pay in advance to reserve the rooms?
Yes.
Make sure no one else takes them? Yep.
Yeah.
Good. You're a good customer. Dinner's on us tonight. And he waves over to the barkeep. The tavern wench comes over with some corcachonosi, raisin wine mixed with honey, and pork stew with apples and honey. And he says, on the house for my distinguished guests. And he pats the barmaid, and he says, make sure you take care of them. So the barmaid looks at all of you, and then she sits on Terenius's lap, and she's like, "Who is this adorable little fellow?" And she the squirrel imp kind of leers and says, "Hey!" She jumps back. Okay.
Oh, that's kind of messed up.
Captain Colonel Galatos, who said there is little difference between the pact of 2 men breaking bread together and 2 men breaking bones together. Toast.
The barkeep
What he
looks
said.
at you, and she says, "Oh, I totally agree." And she comes and sits on your lap.
So, Alex, quick question.
Yeah.
So since we now have imps, does the rebuke system also apply to
No, doesn't rebuke
infernals?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, you could, in theory, rebuke him. Temporarily drive him off if you wanted to. Yeah, but I don't think you have high. I don't think you're high enough level to turn infernals.
Okay, no. I just wanted to make sure that was, because now that there are infernals basically in ACKS.
Yep.
I just wanted to see if that the same chart applies to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zahak the imp feels threatened and looks over at you.
Definitely, he does. He's like, I don't think we should trust
Yeah,
him.
'cause
I don't think we should trust him.
I'm looking.
To the other side.
Yeah, I'm not. This is an inauspicious sign, but we're still brothers. We just need
Indeed.
to turn you fully to commit to the word of the Imperial.
So the imp
Can't
looks
be
over
off.
at you, Terenius. He's like, "That's your brother? Then that's my uncle." And the imp flies over to the Crusader. He's like, "Hi, uncle."
Call him.
I just glare at him.
Call him Master Raymond.
Oh, okay, Master Raymond.
Don't bother him.
You... Okay, he returns.
Does
All right.
Does did what we pay for the rooms include stabling for the 3 animals?
It does not.
Okay.
And
Let's
but you
talk
can-
about
you-
that.
Yeah, you can get them stabled as well. Let's see.
And where do we need to
He
deliver
himself
the
does
wares
not
that
have.
we
He himself
transported?
does not have stables in the Stone Tankard, so you would want to go to the Caravanserai for that.
Okay.
And that cost would be 1 gold piece for the cart, 0.5 gold piece for the ox, and then 2, 3, 6. So 2 gold pieces a night for that as well. So that will be another 50 gold. So you're down to 48
Okay.
gold pieces.
Castus, what if we sell them? If we're going to be here for a month, or 25 days at least, perhaps we should sell them. Buy more later.
Yeah.
We don't need to cart all this stuff around anymore. We're selling all this glass.
Well, I
Junk.
think what we'll do is let's
That's
stay-
just the donkey?
Well, let's Well, remember, we'll stable them for one night.
Not Destrius.
And then we'll go to the market tomorrow for the glassware, for the other thing that we transported. Then after that, maybe we could stable them outside the city because they won't be inside. We won't need them as much. Making sense?
Sure.
Assuredly.
Yeah.
I was thinking that without goods to transport, we don't need the transport.
Yeah. So just one night at the Caravanserai for right now.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. One night at the Caravanserai. Okay. So I have duly noted it. You've got 96 gold pieces left. All right. So you have basically a chance to do one more action before nightfall. So do you want to do the Tower of Knowledge, or do you want to do additional sales, or what do you want to do?
So if Tyrannius goes to the tower, can he get those magic items researched and would that be a place to sell some of the special components also?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question. Also, there's that bone scroll. We haven't looked at that thing. Can we
You
look
guys
at
have
it?
you haven't looked at it yet.
That's what I was going to say. We've got
probably look at the
three
bone scroll.
components that need to be checked. That's what I thought the Tower of Knowledge was going to do.
Actually,
Well, I mean, could we even look at the bone scroll ourselves and figure out what it is? I mean, potentially, since there's two mages here.
hold on. What is the, before we take the sword to the Tower of Knowledge, what's the inscription on the sword?
Death to sorcerers.
Okay, it's probably a bad idea to take that to the Tower of Knowledge. If it's a weapon that has some special affinity towards killing sorcerers and magic users, the Tower of Knowledge is not going to like that. I just thought about that. I was like, wait a minute, I was like, wait, what?
You have a point, and you mentioned possibly just testing those things first might be, just testing them in battle.
Can we just
Of course, I think Higlak's the one who's going to use it, so.
It's possible to just bring those components and sell them to the Tower of Knowledge. Do we need to do further research before we sell them?
No, you don't.
Yeah, and identifying magic items anyway can get kind of expensive anyway. So
I'm thinking particularly of the items we harvested from the creatures. Is that what we were thinking of selling?
You're talking.
Or are you
special
discussing
components.
something else?
There's that, and
two
there's
different issues. There's selling special components and identifying magic items. It's two totally different things. So it's up to you
then there's
guys.
the third thing, that bone scroll. So I mean, I would like to look
That's
at
a
the bone
magic
scroll
item.
first to see.
So
So
okay,
I mean,
so why don't you open it
That
up and
will
look
cost
at
us.
it then?
I would like to open it up and look at it. Yeah.
Okay. So the risk you're taking is if it's cursed, it could affect you.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right. Then never mind. Let's get it
Or
checked
you
out.
can
too.
or you can pay someone else to take that risk, and it's going to be a high fee because people don't like being cursed.
Right. So never mind. I'm willing to wait on that.
Really? Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
What could go wrong? Yeah, so you guys decide.
Well, why don't we find
have
out
several
what-
items we harvested that are a sure cash in pocket,
Okay.
or we can pay more to have something analyzed.
Let's find out how much it costs to get it.
All right.
analyzed.
So you guys head over then to the Tower of Knowledge. Tyrannius is still just exhausted, but at least he's able to talk now. So you guys help him make his way there. Gwynfor still feeling raspy and crappy. Higlak also, looks like he's overdosed on benzodiazepines from his healing. So the Tower of Knowledge is at location 9 on the map up here. So you guys head on over to there. It's by the Prefectural Palace, the Palatine's Palace. And it was a 3-story building, originally an elven temple to Telesian, the elven god of wizardry. And there's 3 floors, dedicated to living quarters, libraries, laboratories, and meeting halls. On the first floor is a storefront. Chest-high windows cut through a 10-foot hardwood wall to reveal a storefront through which the chapter house of the Tower of Knowledge buys and sells magic items, potions, scrolls, and special components. You see a number of apprentice mages and then one senior thaumaturge are manning the storefront. They look up at you, and so Tyrenius, you have collegiate wizardry, which means you're eligible to be a member of the Tower of Knowledge if you'd like. I haven't specifically asked you if you wanted to be a member or not. It's up to you. So the disadvantage is if you're a member, there's some rules you have to follow. You have to pay 10 gold pieces a month in dues. If you want to sell magic items, you have to do it through them. If you want to offer spellcasting services, you have to do it through them. But in exchange, you get access to their labs and libraries.
So if I were to do that, basically, it's as if this is a semi-home base in terms of returning here to sell things and so forth.
And any other Tower of Knowledge. So it's a membership is across all the Tower of Knowledge as a whole. So if you could go to Sifron, Tower of Knowledge, etc. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. The only other rule is that you're not allowed to use
Ciudadanos.
you're not allowed to use necromantic magic, which is forbidden.
Sure. Well, Tyrenius is pondering that for a few days since I feel like I'm going to be here for a while. It's a weighty decision I won't make tonight.
Okay. That's fine. All right. So you are currently not a member, we will say. You may wish to become one. All right. So the clerk at the storefront says, how can I help you? Hello, how can I help you?
Castinus?
I was going to say, I thought okay, we're interested in having some items identified and selling some special components.
Of course. And the items?
Here, I present to you a sword, a suit of chainmail armor, and a very curious scroll.
All right. Okay. So he says it will be 40 gold pieces for each identification, 120 gold pieces total.
Well, we can do 2 of them today, and we'll come back tomorrow for the rest.
All right. Which 2?
You sell the components, you could potentially do all of them.
Well, yes. We also have some components. Would you be willing to purchase those also?
What do you have?
So
you produce them?
Yes, produce
All
those.
Right. Okay. So it has been since the bear, it has been 4 days. So we got to see if the bear parts have faded in value. Okay, and now we roll for lion parts. Okay. He says these lion parts, the value has gone from them. The spiritual residue is gone. I can't pay you anything for them, but I can give you 200 gold pieces for these portions of the bear. Its spirit is strong and still lingers within it.
Okay. Well, then we'd like to sell those and have all 3 of our items identified.
All right. So he hands you 80 gold, pushing you up to 176. Okay. So the sage starts with a sword, and he looks at it, tests its edge, goes and consults the book, and he says, "This is a magical blade which is designed to be harmful to those who can cast spells. It will cut and hurt them more than a normal weapon of its make would. It seems to also carry an enchantment in general against all types of creatures, but it is especially formidable against spellcasters." Okay. All right. He takes the chain, he kind of studies it, shakes it, goes, puts it on a scale to weigh it, uses calipers on the links, casts detect magic over it, comes back. He says, I'm not able to tell what this chainmail is. It's definitely magical, but I can't identify its properties. And then he looks at the scroll and he comes back and he says, this scroll is a protective scroll. Casting it will protect you from elemental creatures such as genies and hellhounds and such like that. If you're not interested in this, the Tower of Knowledge would certainly be willing to buy it.
How much?
He goes and chats with the guy, and he comes back and he says, we can give you 500 gold for the scroll.
It might be a nice scroll, but at the same time, that money is really nice too. I'll defer to you on.
All right. So, interesting side note: if you sell the scroll, you get XP for it because it's a magic item you found and didn't use and sold for profit. So you would get 500 XP across the party.
I put it to the group. I think I mean, I'd say sell it.
The imp says, sell it.
Tyrenius says, sell it. We may regret this.
And sell it.
Tomorrow we may face an elemental for all I know. But a bird in the hand.
Today we could buy plate armor.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it, Master. You've been to the Outer Darkness once already, and it wasn't that bad.
Castinus, you might be able to get it for a better price.
You want to try and bargain, Castinus?
Always.
Yeah.
All right, give me a 2d6 roll. That was my roll. Okay, fine. 500 gold. You're a tough bargainer.
I thought it was 500. Did I misunderstand?
Did I say 500 before? Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
550.
550. There we go.
Yeah, the extra 50 covers our lodging, actually.
Yeah, it does. All right, so that's good. That's so now you guys are at 726 GP for the party. Which is a very good amount. Yeah.
The imp says, whores for all.
Yes, he does. He's like, yeah.
Whores for all.
Well, is there any?
Don't make me.
Okay, so I asked the mage at the Tower of Knowledge, is there anyone else that you know of that might be able to identify this armor?
He says if you wanted to leave it with us for a few weeks, we could do a more thorough investigation, but it's extremely expensive. It would be thousands of gold pieces. If I were you, I would just try it on and use it in battle and see what happens. Or if you'd like, he says, if you'd like, donate it to us. We'll give you credit towards future spellcasting services. Call it 500 gold.
They'd give us 500 gold in credit for it.
Yeah, if you want certain spell formulas, spellcasting services, we can always use additional magic items. We reduce them down to their core mana and repurpose them for research.
I think we should keep it, honestly.
Okay.
We need protection. We should use it.
Yeah, I think for right now we'll keep it.
Of course. Well, I wish you well. Good luck with it.
I think that's going to finish us out for the day.
Yeah, that does. That finishes you out for the day. And so we will stop there.
So in terms of, so it's chainmail, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So So automatically it starts at 5. It's magical. So if it's magical and it has an AC of 5, then it's either lighter than normal chain, and so it reduces your encumbrance, or it has a higher AC than normal chain, or both. And it might have some other special ability. Because the identification is just a proficiency roll, right, Alex?
Yeah, or it's cursed, and if you put it on, something horrible will happen to you.
Oh,
Your God will protect you.
Hold on. Let's think back. What did we know about
Drusus?
Drusus was a centurion who suddenly went rogue?
He deserted one day, yeah.
Just out of the blue.
I mean, he was always an asshole, but he had been loyal, and then he wasn't. No one's a traitor until they are.
All right.
Yeah, let's keep it, and let's see if we can find somebody else to identify it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for the party, I mean, we're looking at garbing all the fighters in plate armor, which, unless this is a massively bonus to AC, I don't think it's going to match up to the quality of plate for protection.
No,
So-
chainmail would be really good for someone who, like an explorer or an assassin who wears who only is trained in medium armor. That would be really good. Since you guys all have, everyone in your group is either a light armor or a heavy armor proficient character, so chainmail's not hugely useful to you.
I already cast the spell today, but I might cast Discern Evil on it tomorrow just to see.
Discern Evil doesn't detect curses.
No, it doesn't, but it could. I mean, there could be something else on the chain, presumably.
Okay.
But yeah, it doesn't detect curses. You're right, but if it other objects might qualify as evil too. So it depends on what the nature. If it is cursed, what the nature of the curse is. Who knows?
Yeah.
A few weeks here, so there's time to cast it. And
Yeah, plenty of time.
Can protection from evil protect against the effects of a curse?
No.
Depends on the
Okay, so we're going to start to wrap this session up. We've got a few minutes left. For next session, we could play it one of two ways. We can actually do the 25 days in town, and those of you who are up and at 'em can wander around and have some town adventures if you'd like. Or we can fast forward and handle that essentially as downtime activity in the intervening weeks and get back to adventuring, which is probably more interesting for the show. But if you guys want to have the full in-depth experience of wandering around the town and recruiting more henchmen and things, I'm also happy to run that. It's really your preference.
Yeah, I like the idea of doing a little bit of city. Maybe not all 25 days. I mean, it's up to the group, because I'm totally cool with 25 days in the city. But if you want to kind of split it up, that's fine with me too. But recruiting henchmen.
I'm kind of like you, Newton.
Yeah,
because we do need some henchmen.
Yeah, we do need henchmen. Yeah, and then it's an opportunity to buy stuff here, because there is.
Bastinus can work on his shopping list.
It's just a bigger market, and we've got some rogues, so the rogues can be up to no good if that was an opportunity.
Vale has a gambling proficiency. I don't know if we can have her use that to maybe make some profit.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds like you guys want to do the town adventure stuff, so we'll do that next week, or not next week, but 2 weeks from now, and that'll be good. I will be prepared accordingly. One thing it was interesting. So we were doing hex crawling there. And so since I knew what you guys were going to be doing, I rolled the encounters in advance. And so that was the second edition encounters, which can be both monster encounters and terrain encounters. So like finding the healing herbs, for instance, that's a terrain encounter. You find something interesting in the terrain, that's not a monster. The monster carcass was a terrain encounter. The The rock was obviously a wandering monster that could have gone badly, but you happen to get, a rock. And the likewise, the grizzly bear was a monster, wandering monster check. So that was all basically dynamic hex crawling.
I really like that.
It's a little bit alarming how much danger there is just traveling on the road.
Well, yeah, I mean it's Ciudadanos.
Borderlands.
Yeah, it's the Borderlands, right? Yeah.
You also made it sound like we're a bunch of big wusses for not opening the scroll case. I mean, I have no idea what risk levels.
Yeah. Well, when you have a bunch of people that are all brewed up, you don't really want to invite more danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then fair enough.
Jonathan,
thing I
to answer
wasn't
your
sure about-
question, most people will read scrolls themselves.
Okay.
And then they'll get cursed and be pissed about it. But you can usually get rid of the curse for overall, like over the course of the campaign. It's usually less expensive to deal with the occasional curse than it is to constantly pay someone else to take the risk, if that makes sense.
Okay.
That said,
there's not
it can be
knowing
it can be a really bad idea to look at it like in the middle of the dungeon, and you're like, okay, our best wizard just got turned into a frog. And yeah, you're going to be able to turn him back into a person by getting the curse removed, but at that exact moment, it's a bad scene. So
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think it would be magical. I just it would be this, you pick it up and take a look at it as opposed to like a sword or armor or something like that. So that was a surprise for me. Interesting.
No, that's the way scrolls work. Is you can just pick it up and read it, and if you can read the language, you can identify what the scroll does. But cursed scrolls are set up so that reading the scroll is what triggers the curse.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So there's no way to read a cursed scroll without getting cursed. It is inevitable. Yeah. It's basically the opening sentence is "You're fucked."
Close it up.
Oh no, it's too late. It's too late. And then so the mortal wound result, Willie. So you got the mortal wound result that you get an evil familiar, which is hilarious. But he is a familiar, so he provides benefits, but he's also evil.
Right.
So and the idea is you can only get that result if you're neutral. If you're lawful, you would have gotten a different result.
Yep, it was my choice. I wanted to be neutral.
Is the tampering with mortality more dangerous if you actually have died?
Oh yeah, it gets real crazy. So if you were lawful, the result you would have gotten, Willie, would have been that domestic animals, fuzzy herbivores, and songbirds are delighted by you. They bark in greeting, hop over to meet you, and sing excitedly anytime you're nearby. You gain a +4 bonus to reaction rolls with them, but suffer a -4 penalty to hiding and sneaking when domestic animals, fuzzy herbivores, and songbirds are within 30 feet.
That would be awesome. I'm glad I won.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
And then the one that and then the one with losing the wisdom, you lose the wisdom regardless of any alignment. So yeah. And then if you were chaotic on that result, then animals growl, hiss, rear up whenever you're within 10 feet. You suffer a -4 reaction rolls with them. You can't ride normal mounts, and characters with beast friendship find you off. So that's the old, anytime you ever watch like the Omen and like the little kid causes the animals to bark result. So
right.
So so that's a big difference from first edition of ACKS is that the magic items are so the tampering with mortality is custom to alignment, and the permanent wounds are custom to the type of wound that hits you. So like a slashing wound, a burning wound, etc. They'll be different. It's a lot of fun.
That's right, because that's what makes ACKS great. The charts. Just more charts. More charts.
So.
Yeah, no, that's great that you have different charts based on those things. I think the audience is really going to love that.
I think they will. I hope so. All right. Well, this was not a super eventful session, but it was good progress. As you guys have seen, you only have gotten about, let's say, Gwyn 4, you've only gotten about 400 experience points for your efforts, and you need like 1,500 to 4,000 to level. So you need to take more risks if you intend to level up at anything approaching a rapid rate. And I know that you're probably thinking like, oh my God, But yeah,
How does that
I
work for
think-
someone like Tyrannius?
Yeah, that's true. I think the next time, like, let's do a little bit of, like admin and city stuff. But I think to the point, let's get back in the fight as quick as we can.
yeah.
And we do a lot of that off camera, Alex. Maybe Sean sends you a shopping list kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and-
We could do it off camera, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
And then I think we should probably try to hire. Do we want to hire henchmen up to kind of what Grant was suggesting, or do we want to go with a lower number? I think it'd be nice if we're spending 3 weeks in town to see if we can get an explorer, because I think that would be really helpful. We have 3 weeks, so we might have a chance to get an explorer.
Yeah, you have 4 weeks.
Up with all those wilderness encounters.
Maybe you can go check the local jobs board while the rest of us are healing and not have to tackle 100 bugbears or something. Maybe something a little bit more achievable.
I think the main one still is the lady below, right?
Yeah.
Kind of our main focus. But yeah, there is that whole mercenaries guild.
I think we should
They
all
mentioned
join the
Tourist Town
mercenaries
is in this
guild
town.
too.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that next session. So what we can do, guys, what we'll do is we can handle as much of the downtime as possible. Send me your shopping list and all of that. And then, those of you who aren't recovering can like train proficiencies or things like that. And then,
Alex, if you wanted to show, what I was planning to do was take the glassware to the market, and if you wanted to showcase that, it's like,
yeah,
hey,
that would be cool. We should do that
Yeah,
to the market. Yeah, that would be cool. We could do that, and we can do some of the henchman recruitment. So, but let's try the stuff like this, the shopping list. Let's get that worked out in advance. We can calculate the prices. And
Okay.
everything. Yeah. And let's also figure out any other downtime anybody wants to do, because it looks like, let's see, Higlak is healing, Gwynfor is healing, Tyrannius is healing. So Raymond can do downtime and Castinus can do some downtime.
If there is gold left over for healing me, I would go for it. But if there's not, that's fine.
Yeah, there's there's Gwynfor and Castinus. If we're here for an extended period of time, we might, and we have the funds to do it. But I think we could talk about that.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
We'll
with
defer
the
that to
henchmen?
after you bought the plate armor and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. What'd you say, Willie?
What do we do? What would you guys do with the henchmen during this time span? You've got all the others. Typically, when you've got downtime, what does your henchman do? Or how would you handle that, Alex?
Oh, the henchman carouses and chills out.
Okay.
Or you can give him an assignment if you want him to do something, like, have him do something around town. Yeah, whatever. But if
gambling,
if you don't have
what he comes up with,
but you're paying a salary, so he'll work for you 8 hours a day, do what you want.
What I was kind of curious is, so we say basically Tyrannius is down for the count for 25 days. Would you then, with the player character, live vicariously through their henchmen and go off and do something else? Like if two of the main characters are going to go on something, would the henchmen go accompany them and
you absolutely can do that. That's right.
Clean out a den of thieves or something like that.
That's absolutely correct. So for instance, you could say, I'm just going to play Avaro, my henchman, while Tyrannius is recovering. Yeah, absolutely. Very common.
I was just wondering, because I know, I do think like Newton said, do some other fun stuff, but then that's an option, right? We've got this big pile of henchmen currently. If we wanted to use them for something, we could, go off and continue in the meantime, potentially.
Yeah, the trade-off on that is then the people that don't go on those adventures fall behind in XP, which can be frustrating for some folks. So, but then other times there's time pressure, right? Like if you're like, well, we only have 2 weeks to save the world, then you got to do what you got to do. And that's where henchmen get used a lot for those purposes. Yeah. All right. Well, it's gotten pretty late. I know Newton in particular has to get up and do hard work in the morning. So I guess we'll take a break and resume in 2 weeks, hopefully with better sound problems or fewer sound problems.
Awesome. Have a good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
See you in 2 weeks.
Good night, all.
See ya.
Yeah.